Hello, Daniel.
How are you, Chala? Great to be here.
Great to see you. Okay, so I am going to start our timer and I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself as if I'm a prospect that you met while networking that you want to get a meeting out of. So
Perfect.
go for it.
So we help strategic leaders of mid-market companies scale faster and reduce the drama of the operation. I've been a CEO myself for the last 19 years, and I know how much it takes to scale and how much drama you bring to your life and your business. So we're experts on helping CEO teams of mid-market companies be able to scale their companies faster while take more control of the operation so they have less drama in their life.
Okay, very good. I like all the facts that it's, pain-based, but if I have your permission, do I have your
Yes,
permission to
of
sharpen?
course,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, great. What is the ultimate result of the lack of scaling?
So there's a question of you should scale or not. The thing is, human beings always want to have two things, and this I learned in Singularity. You have to focus on whatever is not going to change. And human beings always want to scale their impact and reduce the drama of their life.
Okay.
So as a human being, like you have to continue growing, you have to continue expanding. Like as an example, Everest, it's a mountain, people die every year. And every year there's more people trying to scale it.
Okay.
Why? Because human beings cannot stop themselves.
So
of
what
being better.
happens if a business owner who is your target,
Yeah.
and by the way, we can get a little bit more specific about what kind of businesses you
Yes.
want to target, and it could be. Is there any single industry that you do more work in, or that has more difficulty scaling?
Nope. I've helped companies with 2 employees in China, and I've helped companies with 25,000 employees in Guatemala. It really doesn't matter. We fix the management, the operation, the leadership to be able to have more impact.
Right. So just like a dentist who can help every single human being, because pretty much everybody except newborns has teeth.
That's correct.
But it's really difficult to market to everyone. When I work with clients, we do the strategic work to figure out which industry or interest group has the fastest growth potential. So then we make sure that our marketing places us constantly in front of them during networking. So we go to only their shows, you don't stop doing what you're doing, but this is to ramp up, to scale, as you call it. So if you could dream, what industry would you grow the fastest in next year? Double it.
So I will try to see it in a different way. Because we don't think as an industry, we think about a mentality and a structure. As an example, if you're a CEO and you're part of EO, YPO, Vistage, all these CEO groups, that usually, if you're a member there, usually you're a learner and you want to scale. So we usually try to go to the conference and the associations. They are members.
So that is, I'll take that, because if you're able to get in front of CEO groups on a regular basis, that is a group that self-congregates.
You got it correctly. Correct.
And otherwise, otherwise it's really hard to see from the outside what they think, right? Unless you see them going to these groups. So fine. So then I help CEOs. CEOs is your target. And what is the problem that not being able to scale solves? You talked about the psychological push to have to scale. What happens psychologically, or even in their business, if they don't scale? So what is the biggest pain, the psychological or what happens in their business?
So there's a psychological one. The CEO feels alone. We say it's very lonely at the top, and they wish their team could pull their own weight and be able to help scale it. So one is, so as an example, the CEOs train a lot and learn a lot and read a lot of books, but then they have to take more time to explain it and teach their team members. So they said, hey, how can I pass that learning so I don't feel alone? We feel like we're really a team doing this together.
So Daniel, what I'm after is the cost of the pain. So if the pain is not being able to scale, what is the cost and the consequence of that?
So usually as CEOs, we compare ourselves a lot to other CEOs. And as when people see other one in Facebook, they think their other one is having more fun. And when you see someone else scaling their company, you say, I want to scale like that, or you don't see all the drama they're having or they're scaling. And that's why they said, hey, I want to grow as fast as these other companies, or I want to have less drama like they believe the rest of the other companies have. Reality, you're a CEO, like me, you understand all the drama that goes into scaling a company.
So what I'd love is if you could put a statistic around the pain, and we haven't really gotten to what the ultimate pain is. You're saying that the drama, you'd have to tell me what the evidence of the drama is. Is it conflict? Is it people exiting en masse? Is it lower, gains? Like what is the biggest pain around not scaling?
Usually not communication and lack of focus. Engagement, you've seen all the studies that 80% of the employees in the US are unengaged. And it's all about leadership. It's all about culture. It's all about communication.
Okay. So if you could tell me and find a statistic around, did you know that, 8 out of 10 CEOs are unable to, are losing their best candidates because of their inability to scale? And what we do is we give them coaching, training, and tools to help them do that. That's what I would love for your elevator pitch to be. Do you see how?
I completely, and I love it. I agree with you 100%. I don't use that. Let me ask if this will work.
Yes.
In the US, there's 28 million firms. Just 3% do over $1 million in revenue. Lovely. And just 0.4% do over 10 million. So we don't have a startup problem. We have a scale-up problem in the world. So the data that I usually use is just 0.4 of the companies in the US go beyond 10 million. We help you go beyond 10 million and still have a life.
Okay, so then if the pain is lack of growth, that's a pain. And then you could say, only like 0.4% are able to grow beyond 1 million. That's a pain, and I'm okay. I'm great with you using that. The thing that I teach people in their elevator pitches, and I've been doing this now for quite a few hundreds of people, is I want you to stop talking about what you do and who you are, and I want you to really start talking about them and their pain. And when you give it some scale, no pun intended, when you give it some size and credentials by quoting some sort of statistic, that's what happens. You look like an expert in their pain and you offer a solution to that pain. And then it's very simple. They now understand what you do instead of saying, scaling, scaling, scaling. You've tied it into a pain, and humans are biologically programmed to seek danger signs. So when you open your mouth and their pain statistic comes out, then they're looking at you a lot more differently than if you say, oh, I help CEOs scale.
So I think it has to be something around that the CEO feels lonely at the top. I need to figure out that data or something around that.
So with clients, what we do is we have a certain hypotheses around different groups around the pain, and then we go and we validate those hypotheses, and we also do the research to figure out if there's any studies that have been done about the most expensive pain, and then you own that facet of the most expensive pain and the most prevalent pain. So it could be most expensive, but only 2 people have it. But you want millions of people who have a very expensive pain, and then you want to own that, like the facet of a diamond. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Done. You're done, my friend. All right. Was that helpful?
Very helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay. Nice.
It's always great to have a great perspective on the outside.
Exactly. Take care. All the best.